Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. I am Stephanie Dunn. This is Joel Dunn.
Professional
We,
announcer.
yes, it sounds like it tonight. We are excited. It's our Monday night training for you guys, and we want to welcome the newbies. If you don't know who we are Joel and Steph, and we've been with the company for almost 12 years. And we started not at the top of the company, like a brand new distributor, like some of you that are getting started, but we're going to teach you how you can do some simple steps consistently over time to reach these ranks, hit these bonuses that you're going after, and continue on with your success. So, our story looked a little bit different. We got started with literally no money. We were going through bankruptcy, times were hard. So, I just wanted to feel better about myself and went to get my hair cut. And a friend had lost a bunch of weight. And that's how it started. I asked her, "What are you doing?" And she talked about the wrap, about the one of the products that we have. Now, the product line's changed since,
We've got
you
so
know,
much more.
we've done this, but you guys, I think about that story and how somebody used product and got results, and that opened up a door for conversation. And so, um, newbies, that's a big tip for you right there is be a product of the product and how that can actually help you have success in the business. Because I think a lot of people get started and they think, I don't even know how to talk to people. And so one of the best things that you can do is get personal results, and that was what we did. We
Mm-hmm.
jumped right in. We were excited about it. I lost 13 pounds, you guys, in the first month because I was so like, I was depressed. I was not myself, and I was ready to change not only my health, but that's really what I wanted. And then the money came with it
Mm-hmm.
because I was excited. Like, why wouldn't you want a shot at making some money? And so I think back to all of these things, and that's not changed over the years, is we have an amazing product that's affordable for people, that gets people results, and they can choose to make money, and they can join us right now with that discount for $39 if you got your ticket, your conference ticket for September. So make sure that you've done that so you unlock codes to be able to share that with people. So I'm excited to share. I can give you guys tips and things that I've learned along the way, but what we found is having other people letting you hear up and coming people that have been around, maybe have hit a season where it wasn't always perfect, but they fought and they found how to be consistent. Some of these tips that have worked for them, and I'm excited about that. So I'll share a few things, and then we'll bring on Mel, because we're going to talk about setting your schedule and finding a system, a rhythm that works for you guys for your calendar. So let me see. Are you guys ready to hear some tips to start off more money May? Like, I want to see if you guys are ready. I can't stand it. I see my face like constantly on this either. It's fine, but it's like weird. So, one of the things that I've always done is looking back, and even to this day, I'm like, how can I create income weekly? And I haven't talked about this in a bit, so I
Mm-mm.
thought let's share a little bit about this and the ways that we make
This is
money.
my favorite part.
Yeah, this is the ways that we make money for newbies. If you don't know, we have sample selling. So it's product that you can sell for sample cash. So when you join, you're going to get 7 digital of the 3-day sample coffees that you can turn around and sell. So make sure that you download the It Works Connect app if you haven't, and then the download the It Works sample app, because all of your coffee samples are in there and you can send them to yourself, use that product, or make cash. And cash is king, cash
Mm-hmm.
is fun. So who wouldn't want to do that? So you have the ability to make cash not only with our coffee, but any product that really that you can sell. So greens, reds, collagen. So think of something like of that. I think we need to do another Zoom on sample selling on cash, because when we talk about the things, I feel like you guys go and do those things. So if you said to me, Steph, I want to make $100 this week, or even the next 72 hours, how can I do that quickly? I need this money. I was in that boat where
Mm-hmm.
we needed money. Is talk about selling samples and how you have maybe 5 samples of up for grabs, and the first 5 people get a great price. So when you message them, it's not something that's an auto ship program or something that they continue, but it's getting them into trying something that they might not have before. So if you want $100 in the next 72 hours, how can you do some of the sample selling? And I know Key will probably bring up a little bit about that, or I'll bring that up. So Key, be ready for that because you're a great product of the product. Both of these girls are. So we'll do that. But then weekly, we get paid weekly as well. And those are called fast start bonuses. So when you enroll a distributor and they get 6 loyal customers in their first 30 days, that's $150 in fast starts. And you can do that as quickly as you want to help them get their customers, or, within that 30-day window. I always try to hit 10. So that's my window, is doing a couple of those a week. So, as you have your calendar out, what is your weekly goal? So your cash, but then also that fast start money. That's always been kind of my fun money. Like, oh, there's a pair of shoes I want. So I attach it to a goal.
Yeah. And they pay out weekly, which is great. So one of the things I've always taught people to do is pick a bill. What bill do you have that you just want to pay off? Pay it off with fast starts. That gives you something that's measurable, and it gives you something that's quick, that's able to be done in weekly processes, which helps you pay things off quicker.
Yeah. And you guys, I love this because going through as a new distributor, sometimes those first few checks aren't that great. Like, you're building up in
your
network
first
marketing.
Commission check is going to be amazing.
Yes,
like ours was.
You can totally do that with what we have, but I just know that sometimes it takes a little time. And so don't get frustrated when you don't see that. And we haven't talked about this too, is Joel's from Alaska originally. And I love this analogy with the pipeline. So people thought they were crazy, didn't they? When they were building the Alaska pipeline, they were like, it's taking forever. There's no money coming in, but they knew the work that they needed to do and get done, and how that would continually just pump out money to the people in Alaska. And so when they got the pipeline done, you guys, that money has been coming to people that live there year after year after year. And so with your business building up and understanding, network marketing is different than traditional. It's like you show up and you get paid for your hourly. Here is show up, build that business, and it's residually. So it can stay week after week, month after month, year after year. And so you can continue to add to it with the compound math. And that's what we love. So on your way to that monthly check is that cash, making that cash, and then those weekly bonuses. So that really helped us. I wanted, $1,000 a month. And so how did I do that? I did that with my weekly until my checks were up. So our first check was like $26. I always say this, I should really look it up, but it was like 26 something. It wasn't anything crazy. I was like, I can't live on that. So how can I make some money as I'm growing this? Because I trusted the process. And I think that's the thing that you guys need to know, is trust the process, and why we're going to teach you why it's important to get to Diamond, because it unlocks all the bonuses. Even Emerald's a big, like, get to Emerald, I feel like now, and that unlocks a $5,000 bonus that we currently having going on for the promotions. So, if you watch this a few years down the road, make sure you're watching for current promotions, because I have to remember that these go out for years. So those are some of the ways that we get paid in this business, is cash, weekly, and then your monthly. And I love that we have a system in place. So when you log in into your Connect app, you guys, make sure, and you can pull this up and you're going to see steps to success. I always print this off because I'm a paper person, but it gives me a goal. It keeps me on track of what it is. And you can put that in your phone as a screensaver, because what are your goals? If you don't know, you're not going to hit them. So if you see those things in front of you, day after day, it's like, oh yeah, this is what I want this week. I wanted to get this new pair of tennis shoes. How am I going to do that? By maybe enrolling a new distributor and helping them make and get their customers, their 6 customers. So making sure that we do that, because this is the foundation that consistently be taught throughout the depth of your business as you're growing a big, large, long year of teams. So make sure that we understand that. So 6 customers, 3 DT should be your minimum. Now, if you want more, you can do more. You can challenge yourself and go, I'm going to do this.
There is no stopping.
Yeah. I want to try to do this in week 1. And you guys, with the $39 right now, if you have those codes, go after the distributors. Like, this is the time to offer it. It's on sale right now from $99 to $39. So make sure that you're offering everybody. And so if you are talking about customers, don't forget to offer that to them, just so that they can even make some extra money as well. Sorry. I'm sitting on a bench and my legs were getting a little crazy. I was like, Joel, I need to sit up because you're so much taller than me. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, I'm
all right.
Crunched down.
So I'm excited. Are you guys excited to hear from these girls. So that's just a window, and I'll kind of close the Zoom up because we're gonna get this. We're gonna have to be done at just before 9 because I'm doing another Zoom, but I'm excited. So first we're gonna make sure you guys have your paper out, your pencil out.
You just kind of scuffed over that. I'm doing another Zoom. No, we're doing a Diamond Leadership Zoom. So that means you need to promote so you can get into the super top secret Zoom that we have after this.
Yes. See, it's your goal to get to Diamond.
Way much better promotion on that Zoom than just, I got another Zoom after this.
All right. So first we're going to bring on Mel. So I hope that you have your notebook ready, because I'm going to tell you a little story. First, Mel, are you with us? Let's see if she is. Can you unmute?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yay. All right. So you guys, I got to give you a little background story with Mel. And actually she's going to share, but she came to the conference, the virtual conference. We had a few people get together back in January, and her mindset wasn't quite there, and she wasn't really necessarily maybe believing in herself. Like, let her tell the story. And I know that this girl can work, you guys. I know when she is consistent, when she's working her rhythm, her schedule, when she has it down, she's determined and she makes it happen. And so Mel, you're a double diamond. So woo, woo, on your way to VIP, because that's in her name. She always has had Mel VIP. So Mel, tell us what was going through. I don't think you were paid as a double diamond. Actually, I know that you weren't in January. No. So you guys want us to be real on this Zoom and let you hear a story of, maybe we're talking to you, maybe you've been in this business and you've fallen backwards, and can you get back up and beyond? And there's going to be different seasons. So newbies, you don't know what this is yet, but there's different seasons in this business. And so I think for Mel, this is a huge different year for her, because she started out usually not in her high point. It's usually summer for her because she works a full-time job as well. And so seeing her being consistent up until this point has been game changer for her. So Mel, what was that moment for you in January that clicked for you?
There's a couple. First of all, I'm always going to be real, and I'm always going to be honest with you. So, because that's what's important, because I think that people think, oh, we're going to not be truthful, whatever. No, I'm always be honest with you. When I came to conference in January, I was depressed. To be honest with you, I was depressed. I had huge anxiety. And you know why? Because where I am right now, and actually in the other room, is where I am. Like, I am teaching virtually, and I've been doing this for over a year, and I am a blue personality, and I need people. Mm-hmm. I need people. I need hugs. I need support. I need love. I need people. And my husband is wonderful and gives me wonderful hugs, but he goes to work and I'm here by myself. It's not super fun. So I was to the point where I was like, oh, I'll get on a Zoom sometime. Oh, I'll get there again, whatever. And I bought my ticket to Florida because we were to go to Florida. And then I the last minute, I had this huge anxiety thing about it. And I was just like, I'm not going. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I told Steph, I'm like, and that's the hardest thing to do, is to say no to Steph. Like, it's hard. I can't do it. Like, it's really hard. So I'm like, I'm not coming. I'm so sorry. I'm ready for her to like disown me or tell me like to go away and never come back or something. And she wasn't like that, of course, because she loves us all. But like a week later, she's like, I'm having people up north. We're not going either. I really want you to come. And I'm like, well, I have no excuse now. I'm okay. I'm coming, but I have to work and then I'll come. So I got up there and I was like, seriously depressed. Like, if you were there, you knew like I wasn't my Melness. Like, I wasn't myself at all. And the thing is too, is that for so long, all I want to do is help people, right? That's why I'm in this business. That's why I do what I do as a teacher. And so all I want to do is be a leader and show that I can be a leader and show my big ideas and show what I can do. And then Stephanie basically kicked my butt at conference and was like, Mel, you're not showing up anymore. You're not doing this, not doing this. And I'm cool with you. I love you forever. but unless you show up, nothing's going to happen. So what do you want to do? And I left conference and I made a commitment at conference. I signed 2 distributors sitting in a chair. I smiled as much as I could, but if you look at pictures of me from conference, you can tell I'm not myself. I tried really hard to be like fun, but I wasn't. Poor Legos had to deal with me and like room with me, and I wasn't my Melness. And it was just that kick in the butt from that moment on. The only time I've missed an 8 a.m. Zoom was when I was at Disney World and when I was sick. And that was it. And I've been to every one. I'm on here for the Zooms at nighttime when there's 4 people on here, whether it's being led by Tashina or Lee or myself or whoever. I'm here because I'm working. And if you tell me you want to work at a certain time, we did all day Zooms. I'm like, I'll be there at my lunch break. Sure was. I got off of my internet an hour early from work on Friday because I had nobody showing up to my small groups, and I came on and worked and signed. I don't remember, what was it, like 3 customers like sitting there.
So to keep you on track, because you got a lot in your head, I'm going to keep you on track. You made a commitment. It didn't matter where you were at. So what were you paid as at conference?
I'm pretty sure I was paid as a Ruby as conference. But if you go backwards to last summer, I was paid as a distributor in April. So over a year ago, I was paid as a distributor. And within 2 months, I was paid back as a double diamond because I was able to hit my summer stride. But then it's like I hit my consistency stride early. So I went from Ruby to Diamond and then from Diamond to double this last month and got the rank up. And I also re-ranked my husband to Emerald this last month.
So you guys, it's being consistent. It's showing up. She got her notebook out. She knew, I said, you have to decide what is important to you. And if you have an hour in the morning and you can do that, like hers was, oh, it's early. And then I'm going to have to get up early to get a shower and to do this. But is it worth it finding that time? And you guys, that's what she did, is finding that consistency. So I want you to understand that it doesn't matter your past. It matters like tonight, if you decide that you want to have an amazing May. And so that's what she decided back in January, is she's going to go for it and she's going to push forward instead of just doing the work when she feels like it. Because that's what she used to do. She could be amazing, and you can too, for 2 weeks, but then, things happen, and it's not that the business doesn't work. It's when we choose not to work the business. And that was the hard talk that I had with her. And so there's moments where I love you. I know that this business works when we work. Instead of making excuses, well, my team's not showing up or they're not doing this, we get to decide and take control and show up for ourselves. And that's what she's been doing. And then people are following suit. So Mel, you ended up, when you decided that, you needed some structure. And so this is great for you guys for May, is figuring out, okay, maybe you do work full time and you can't be on during the day like she is teaching. Maybe you work 2 jobs, but where in that window do you have time to work this business? And it might be working in an hour a day, 2 hours a day, or maybe you have more, but whatever you need to do, you need to write that down. And then you're going to hear us talk a lot about KPIs. And so if you don't know what a KPI is, you can actually search that in team pages, in YouTube's, and figure out, these are your daily work tasks that your must-haves of getting things out and done. And so I want to make sure Mel decided she knew that. Success was getting host to post up and then following through. Downloading, you guys are going to want boards, and we'll have Key talk a little bit about some of these apps that you're going to want. But then you had your calendar out and your schedules out of, this is when you're going to reach out to people, you're going to add new people daily, you're doing the giveaways. So she was doing all the things, but she was focused, you guys. She wasn't off in Wonderland scrolling and making excuses, because she has a window of time that she needs to do. So I want to make sure you guys know that. So Mel, I know that you're showing up and then you're going into work right after that Zoom, and you get a lot done in that power hour. So, you decide, okay, I'm going to get a lot of this work done. And then if you have lunch breaks. So what did your what does your calendar look like for you? I want you to explain to them, pretend that we're kindergartners and we don't know, and walk us step by step on the system that works for you. Now, guys, it's a system that works for you and it's a tracker. I'm going to tell you right now, when you track things, this will help you so much, because then we can go back and go, okay, well, you didn't work this day. So it doesn't mean that it didn't work. You just didn't work that day. So let's work today. And these are the things that you're going to have the success with. So Mel, what does your day look like?
Okay, so first of all, everybody make sure that you're looking at your camera. No, okay. That's kindergarten for me. So what I do is I have the KPIs printed out because I need to have paper. And I'm sorry, I have told you for years that I am not green, but for love of God, I am a little bit green. So here's the KPIs. And what I do is I just go from the top to the bottom and I just get them done. So like the first one is like go live, make sure people see you live. So I'll go in my kitchen and I'll make my coffee in the 5 minutes before the Zoom starts. And then the more exciting I am, the more people are talking to me and the more like delightful I am. So I get more views, and then throughout the day I get more views, and it's incredible. So go live first thing, even if you look like a hot mess. Then I just go through. But honestly, the other thing I do is, because of this, be honest, okay? To be honest with you, there is no way that I was going on Instagram and following 25 people and then interacting, because I was like, I don't know how to do that. So what I did was I was doing it on Facebook, or I would be like, because Facebook was my jam. And then TikTok became my jam. So then I would like schedule my TikToks, or I would like come up with ideas and like write them down. But honestly, what I do every single morning when I get on the Power Hour is I go and I wish everybody happy birthday. I comment on some stories that I find delightful on Instagram and Facebook, because that's easy to do for me. And then I go through my friends list and I start at this, I started it with A, and I had over 5,000 friends. And as by clicking on the person, seeing if they were active, I looked at their page because I was on it. And then I send them a message. So I send them a message and I'm just like, hey, I'm not sure if you see my posts lately, but I'm looking for product testers, blah, 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 which we use, right? I just kind of tweak it a little bit. And then if they look like, and usually if it's a guy, I'm like, hey, will you do me a favor? And then he'll write back and be like, what can I do for you? I'm like, can you share a post for me and tag me in it? And then I get my house to post. And I do that for guys and girls. Like if they look like super fitnessy, I do that first to kind of feel them out. But anyway, I send 50 messages on Facebook first thing. And then I'm answering them not as they're coming in, because as I'm still messaging, but like throughout the rest. And typically I can sign a loyal from those 50 messages every single day. And so even with Host to Post, because last summer Host to Post was my bread and butter, man, I was getting Host to Post up. I wouldn't go to bed unless I had my 10. And now there's been times when like it's like pulling teeth getting someone to like host a post for me. So I'm like, okay, I got to make my own fortune, kids. Let's figure this out. So then I just went back and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to message. And then there's times when I go completely off script. And I reach out to people for distributors too. And I was like, you are on my heart today. I've been praying for you. Would you like to join my team? So that's what I do. 50 messages first thing, whether it's Host to Post, DT, or LC. And then I do my follow-ups. And then I also post, right? So I post about product. I post about I do a giveaway post every single day, usually every single morning.
So you guys, it goes to doing the things. So I want to make sure you guys know she's been consistent. You guys just heard she's not crazy doing anything. She's just made that decision that she's going to get 50 up. And she was doing that last summer, like she was saying, but she's found her consistency and in her time that works for her. So there's a couple key things that I want you guys to do on that schedule is, are you going to do that? Are you willing to pay the price every day? Like showing up to your business, because that's how we get paid, is by doing the actions that lead to the results. And we know that Host to Post works, messaging works, and we don't have to be spammy, you guys. Like we can still message people and just say, hey, I just wanted to let you know you're having a great day. Starting a conversation and then going back through the next couple times and just, hey, I don't know if you've seen my post, but have you ever been interested in maybe making some extra money? So it can be as simple as that. But in her schedule, she found that in the morning before she gets to work, this is the time frame that she wants. So I want to make sure you guys know that scheduling is important, because if it's on your schedule, on your calendar, you start to do it. So do you get your hair done? You probably do, or you go and get your nails done or something. It's probably scheduled. So it's important it's on your calendar. So I want to make sure that you guys understand, if it's important to you, you're going to find a way to get the time to do it. So Mel has done a great job of finding that system that works for her and being consistent. That's what I've seen happen for her. And she's not worrying about who shows up, who's not. She's showing up for herself, and everything else will follow. And that's important. Like, that's always been me, is I'm going to show up for myself, and the ones that want to show up will. I don't beat myself up thinking, well, so-and-so's not here or so-and-so's not here. I'm not worried about the ones that aren't on. I'm just going to lead and help the people that are on, and I'm going to show up and do my tasks daily. So I want to make sure you guys know, it's in this business, it doesn't have to be hard. You just have to do the things, do the work to have the results. And, some days it's not always getting results from those posts, but you've planted the seeds to be able to go back to offer when these promotions come up. So I want to make sure you guys know that. And we talked a little bit about that on the Zoom last night, is making sure that you do have that. If you don't have a calendar or something that you have, you can go Google May calendar right now, June calendar, and print those off, or go to the library and print them off. But make sure that you do that. And then having that system of keeping track of, if you're messaging people and they've shared a host to post, really keeping track of who has that up so that you can follow up with her. So she's got that system down for her. And I love that it's not, crazy hours throughout the whole day, where a lot of people think, oh, you're on your phone all day long. No, you can be super focused with 1 to 2 hours and have massive successes if you want it. And the other thing that I know, Mel, about you before we end this with you is you're pretty goal driven. And so I noticed when you showed me your tracker, if you sign 30 loyals or whatever tattoo, or I think it was 50 loyals, you get a tattoo, or 45, or whatever your number was. I don't remember, but she had different goals. So, what does that look like for you? How many loyal customers do you guys want this month? Is it 30? Is it 40? Is it 50? And is it tied to a goal? Because are you goal driven? So if you're like, I want 20 loyals to go get my nails done, maybe that's how you do it. So I want to make sure you guys know that. And distributors, how many distributors do you want to help come into the business? Because those new distributors lead to even more loyals. She's got her, you're kind of frozen now, but that's okay. Oh, there we go. So is there any last minute tips?
I'm sorry.
This really helped me get focused, or was it you made a decision, you figured it out, and you started to show up?
Yes and yes. Also seeing it, like printing out the 100 chart, printing out the this one's a 75, and like coloring in when I get them, and like posting it on Insta, and just being like, thank you for your order, and for people to see that, because this is from last month. I signed 42 loyals last month, and every single one of them like felt amazing, because I was crossing it out. But also, but also make your goals, like, don't just look at the big thing, right? Don't just reward yourself for getting 100 loyal customers. Reward yourself for getting 10. Reward yourself for getting 25. Reward yourself for the things along the way. Like, I rewarded myself with a haircut and getting my roots done for 25. Because that's what, and it was nice that it happened before Texas.
Yeah. Well, and you guys too, it's hard. Like, sometimes it can feel overwhelming, especially for a newbie hearing some of these things. So I want you to understand, getting some post to post. If you're like, what is a host to post? Again, you can go to your team pages and search that so that you can get jumped in and do this. And how do you reach out and message? And those are some things that are all in the team pages. But I think what you need to be proud of is, how many people did you ask? Did you get a post up? Are you excited? And those are rewards. That's a winning for the day. because not everybody's going to say yes right away. And that's how you practice, is by getting those things out, and you continually get better. So once you find that rhythm, it gets easier. You can get more out because you've got that system that's in play for you. And I just wanted you guys to hear that tonight, that it's a decision. That's really all it comes down to in this business. To be successful is in between your ears. It's all right in your mind of a decision that you can do this. And I know that you've always said that it's your mindset.
And the one thing that I'm so proud about Mel for is the consistency part. So if you're struggling right now to get the results that you want, look at your consistency, because Mel comes in, blows it out of the water, does awesome, and then she'd step back. And then all of the momentum that she had going comes to a screeching halt. This time around, she's realized that if she keeps going while using the momentum, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which makes it easier for her to do what she's doing. So if you're having problems right now getting to the results that you want, look and see if you're being as consistent as you should be, and then make the decision to plug into the consistency portion of it.
Yeah, I think that's, you hear that successful people, what are some of the traits that they have? And it is showing up and consistent. And it might be consistent for you as 4 days or 5 days. Like, but find again that structure, that system, that routine that works for you, and show up on the hard days too. Like she said, she missed a couple days. And we all have that, where we have days, but if you can continually do that, then the success comes. So I appreciate you, Mel, for showing up and doing that. Because really you make it so simple. It's, you guys, she's just messaging and asking people and being her real self. And I think that's key in this business, is we don't have to have filters on all the time. We don't need to do all of those things. We just need to pop up, open our video, share ourselves in the morning, show us what we're making, if it's that coffee, and you can attract the right people. And that's important, to be the best version of you, and to consistently show up, and they're like, all right, I guess I need to do that now. So I want to make sure you guys understand all the consistency on all the levels. So we love you, Mel. I'm excited for you for this year, and I just appreciate you sharing. So, all right, we're going to get to Key next. Key, are you on?
I'm here.
Yay! So you guys, I was like, what hair is she gonna have today? I love it. So Key, let everybody know you are a diamond leader in this business. And
I am. Hey, you guys, I am Key Tylette. Actually, my real name is Kiana, but I go by Key. And I am a diamond leader in this business. And it's so crazy because a lot of people think I just wear wigs. The story behind me starting to even wear wigs is because my hair has started coming out. And so before I started taking HSN, I actually had, my hair was very thin, and I had patches that were coming out in the front. So I actually had to start wearing wigs to cover it up, cut it all off, start over, and start wearing wigs to cover it up. But it's become part of my lifestyle. So it kind of works. So it does help being a product of the product, because fortunately for me, I get to help other women who suffer from the same issue and don't know that there are products out there that can actually help them. So that's just a little backstory behind it.
I absolutely love that, because she just shared, she got in this, she used the product, and she gets to share about that. And sharing is way easier when people say, well, I'm not a salesy person. And I think we all feel like that. But when you use something, and again, you're consistent with it and you love it, it's easy to talk about. It's easy to share that journey. And so newbies, if you're like, where do I start? I don't have a story yet. You need to say, I'm excited. I'm coming to you live to let you know you're my accountability. And I can't wait to have you see my results of a couple new products that I'm testing out. It's going to be that simple. And so you can get results pretty quickly with a lot of our product. But, if you're putting that out there, that's a great way for people to be like, well, what are you doing? And maybe it's your hair that you want help with. Maybe it's your skin, and maybe it's weight loss, or maybe it's just overall health. So Key, how did you incorporate that into your business?
Well, the thing with me is when I initially got onto social media, I really did not get a grasp on it until a couple of years ago. And so when I took off the mask and really just got unapologetic about who I am, it just made it a lot easier to share. I'm a person who I curse from time to time. I'm a former teen mom. I love fashion. I'm obsessed with it. I'm now newly obsessed with coffee. Like, you just are gonna, when you come to my page, I have a very clear, it's clear of who I am. And if you scroll down far enough, you would see that before I figured out who I was all over the place. I wanted to be deep one week, and then I wanted to be funny the next week, but I was trying to pull from different places that weren't really me. So when I started to tap into who I really was and ask myself the hard questions, sharing on social media just became easy because it became second nature. And so when I started to share who I was organically, that's when I started to attract the following. So a lot of the times we're trying to tap into something that we're not, and you can post pretty pictures all day long, but if there's no substance behind it, people are going to be able to see through it. Mm-hmm. So you have to really be in tune to who you are, and you have to be able to tell a story in a sense. And when you do that, it'll draw the people that are for you to you, because everyone has their own tribe. Mm-hmm. And so someone may be drawn to me that may not necessarily be drawn to the next fashion person. It may be something particular about my personality that draws them in. So I would just say, don't try to be a carbon copy of someone else. Just be organic and unapologetic about who you are. And it's going to attract the right people.
So good.
So when you look back at that, Key, you know, is there some things that you were like, okay, I'm going to look at that? Were there some pillars or something that stood out that made you change and just open and go be you? That, you know, newbies or people that are struggling with, like, how do I be that? Is there a couple things that stood out to you that you're like, this is what I need to do?
I needed structure. So even with me figuring out, okay, my page is geared towards fashion. Fashion is the thing that brings them in, but I'm able to do fashion and buy the clothes I buy because I have another stream of income. Mm-hmm. So because I have It Works, I actually launched the business last year. When I was unexpectedly laid off, I had another stream of income. And if I hadn't been smart and followed the direction God gave me, I would have been screwed. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to say took a chance. I trusted that God was going to take care of me. And he did that in the form of It Works, because all of the money to launch my business came from It Works. I didn't pay for one thing out of pocket. And I'm thankful because I trusted God enough to be able to do that. So now I'm in a position where I'm not homeless. I'm not living out of a box. I have more inventory than I want, but I'm in a place financially that I would not have been had I not trusted God. Mm-hmm. And I have a long way to go, but I know if I put in the work, then I will definitely reap the benefits. One of the things that I've learned about It Works is if you work it will work for you. And so I had to surround myself with people who had the same mindset that I had in my business. And there may be people that are not on my team yet. It may be people that are not even on my leg. It may be people that are not even attached to my paycheck, but they have a clear vision of where they're going, and they may have a skill set that I may not necessarily have, and I may have one that they don't have. So us working together will take us really far in this business because we are able to be an asset to one another.
All the assets, bring it to me. So Key, yes, you are amazing at doing all the apps and, you know, making all these things, and you have a structure and you're consistent. You're those things. And she's been one, you guys, like, if you haven't found people to connect with, or, you know, this, like, I love our morning Zooms that we do, our power hours, because it's made that connection. And I'm grateful for that. And it's all like-minded people that are hungry for more. We know that we can count on each other to show up. And if we don't see him, we're like, where is she? And Key was on vacation for like 5 days. I was like, where is she? Because she hasn't been on in a minute. And I was like, well, what's going on? So, you know, find that, because it does draw out the best in you. And when you're seeking something that you want to do better, that person could be there to do that. And Key is that with, you know, doing some apps, doing her stories, making her business a little bit easier. So Key, obviously you're just not bright, colorful. Like, when I think of you, you're always standing out. Like I'm not going to stand out next to her in her little Zoom picture, because she like look at me. And I love that, but I'm not worried because I'm in my own, this is me and this is Mel, and we all are successful. So give us some, I know that consistency is one of your things, but what are some apps that have helped your business, you think? And do you do like social media, like a day of it to set it up for the week? How do you incorporate that?
Yeah, so I have content. Since my page is centered around mostly fashion, and that's one of the ways I draw people into everything else that I have going on. I have content days. So typically on Tuesdays, because it's midweek, it's a good solid day. If I have good weather, then that's the day that I'm going to do things on. So I'll not try to knock out reels and photos and things like that. So I'm going to tell you guys the apps that I actually use, because a lot of the times I'm taking the pictures myself. If my fiance is not available, I need to make it happen, and I do the things myself. So on Sundays, for me, I plan out my looks because I need to know what I'm going to be doing. So I'll have a mindset of my looks. If I'm going to be on location, I'll plan out the locations that I'm going to be at. And I have a set amount of time that I'm going to block out to get it all done. I can do a content shoot in a day and have pictures for weeks. I currently have about 6 weeks worth of pictures because I took a day to do 3 hours worth of picture. I took pictures for 3 hours. So 3 hours to give me 6 weeks worth of content if I stretch it out. And the way that I plan it out is I'll tell you guys the apps that I use, and I'll tell you what each one of them does. So for shooting the content, there's an app that I use called Lens Buddy. Sometimes my fiance isn't available. So what it does is it takes about 10 pictures at one time. So you can literally get 10 shots at once. So you don't have to take a picture and then go back and then adjust and then look at, no, I'll take multiple pictures. I use a clicker and I keep pressing the button, and then I'll go through later on and figure out which shots that I like. So it cuts down on time because I'm not reviewing every picture after every snap. So Lens Buddy is a good one because it takes high quality pictures, number one, especially if you're in natural light, and it takes multiple pictures at one time. The next one that I use for planning is going to be Preview or Planoly. So if you are primarily focused on Instagram, Instagram is a place where aesthetically it needs to be pleasing, because when people are scrolling, you got to catch their attention. You want to catch their attention so they come to your page. When they come to your page, that's how they figure out if they like you or not. So I use Preview or Planoly because I need to plan out my page to see what it's going to look like. Aesthetically, I need to make it pleasing. Another great thing about Preview is I can plan out my content, so I'm not stuck having to go and make the post. If I do everything on Sunday, I can plug it all into Preview, the times, the captions, the hashtags, everything. It will post it for me. I don't even have to think about it. It literally does it for me. So it cuts down on me spending time having to do those things and aimlessly scrolling, because I may get on to make a post. After I make a post, the likes start coming in. I start getting distracted, going to their page. No, plan it out so that you don't get stuck into that little black hole. Another app that I use is Hyperlapse. If you guys have ever watched my story, sometimes it goes in fast motion. I do that because people have a short attention span. So I know that I can give them a snapshot of what I'm doing a few times a day, and I can post something pretty on there explaining what I'm doing, and it'll bring them in a little more. So Hyperlapse to speed up your videos for your stories, and then you're going to use Over to put pretty script on the pictures, okay? And I have templates and everything that I can post in the page, like a description of celery and skinny brew and all those things. Mojo is what I use to make pretty Instagram stories. They have templates. All you gotta do is plug and play. So for instance, if I record something on Hyperlapse, I can upload it to Mojo and create a pretty Instagram story. So again, it's aesthetically pleasing. And the last one that I use is Boards. Boards makes our business copy and paste. Mm-hmm. I have more than one business. I don't have time to sit out and type something out every single time. Boards has made my life a lot easier, because if I'm looking for a description of a product, guess what? It's in Boards. If I'm looking for a PDT post, it's in Boards. If I'm looking for an upsell, it's in Boards. The boards we've been given has made our lives a lot easier because everything is housed in one location. It helps me to train my team. It helps them to not have to ask me a lot of questions throughout the day. And it helps me to run my business seamlessly. A lot of the times we get wrapped up in the little particulars. We have to start working smarter and not harder. Boards helps me to do that. And so do all these other nice little apps. But planning is a big, big, big thing. You have to find a day that you can plan out your week. Some days, some people may need to plan on Tuesday and round it about, plan it around whatever your Sabbath day is. Typically Sundays are a good day for me because I take off Sundays because I spend time with family, I spend time with God. So I know it's Sunday nights before the call, I can plan out my week and be ready to go.
Yeah, you guys, I think really when you're hearing this, it's setting out your month, setting out your week, setting out your month, and understanding where you're going with it. Because I know that you can go start the day, and if you don't know where you're going, the day is gone before we know it, right? It's like, where did the day go? You're scrolling, you're looking for posts to do, you're going and checking pages, you're scrolling through, you're going down the rabbit hole instead of being super focused.
You think you're working, but you're not.
And you know, and everybody's going to be a little bit different. If it's the day where you want to do content in one day for a couple hours, it's because you're ready. So you know, okay, I'm going to get ready this day, so you don't have to do makeup throughout the whole day. Because I don't want full makeup on every day, all month long. That's not who I am. Like, I'd rather just twist my hair up and go, for the most part on most days. Like, that's just, quarantine has made me that way. So when I do get dialed up, I'm like, man, I better get some good pictures and do that, and making sure that you have the lighting. So when Key's talking about that, you guys, and you're new to this, I remember thinking, how do they look at that and not compare, but to get it up? So the first thing is not worrying about if they're perfect, it's doing it. And then eventually you're going to get better and better. And I look back at over the years and I'm like, why was I taking a picture like that? Like, the sun was the complete opposite way. They're like, what was this background?
We were such professionals, and we're still such professionals.
And so the good thing is you're going to get better the more that you do this. But you need to set your time of, are you going to set your time of, this is what I want to do to commit to learn? And at the beginning, everything takes time to learn, you guys. So you want to make sure that you do that. And then if you're strong in something, make sure that you're doing those things. So you're still messaging, you're still doing the things that bring in the work behind the scenes, because I can go without posting for a while and I'm still doing host to post and doing my messages behind kind of that closed door, right? So making sure that you do that. And I think, Key saying, making that pretty, like, visually on Instagram or Facebook. Your stories is where you can be real, really real, or a live video or something like that. That's where people see the real you and they're like, oh, I can relate to her. Like, that's it. But you're still drawing them in by, maybe your favorite colors are, bright pink or something, or maybe you're more neutral colors, and keeping that template, kind of matching for you. And you guys can.
And some people only watch stories. So guys, if you can, get really comfortable, even if you have to start with posting quotes or old pictures of yourself. Post anywhere from 12 to 15 stories a day. It will boost your engagement. It'll even put your post in front of other people. You guys know, I'm the little pellets, the little rice. I tell a story every day. People know every morning, Larissa and I are going to be on a 5 a.m. power hour. They know after the power hour, I'm going to drink my celery. They know after my celery, something's going to happen. I'm probably going to tell a little story, and then I'm going to have my coffee. And then as of lately, I had a family of birds that built a nest on my balcony. So they got to watch their journey with me. They went from eggs all the way up to teenagers, and now they've flown the coop. Literally, they're gone now. But I told this story and people came back to my page literally to see where the birds were. I was gone for 5 days, came back, there were teenagers. And I said, well, I was only gone 5 days. Now I'm left with this nest and I have to figure out how to get rid of it. So, but you have to be who you are, guys. And that is what's going to bring people to you. Because someone told me, Larissa was like, you don't tell stories on your stories anymore. I was like, I don't. She was like, no, we literally came. You had like story time every day during quarantine. She was like, you don't tell stories anymore. You need to start back telling stories. And I didn't even realize it. I got so wrapped up in, I gotta get these stories up. I gotta get content. I had stopped, I had gotten a little bit away from being who I was. And thankfully I have someone that was just like, hey, you need to go back to this. This is what we were tuning in for. And it boosted back up because I got to talking about, you know, who I am. You guys have to remember, it works is only 20%. 10, I'll say 10. It's a lifestyle. Incorporate it into your lifestyle because ultimately people buy from who they know, like, and trust. So if they get to know you and they like you, they'll begin to trust you and buy from you. And I don't have the mentality of selling. I'm not selling anything to anyone. I'm sharing something that could change the quality of their life. And that's really what we're doing. These products are not like anything else that is on the market. We literally have something that could change someone's life. I'm proof of it. There are other people that are as well.
And I love that, you guys. She just shares. And I think when you get that through, and sometimes newbies, they don't even recognize that. So if you need some help and you're like, hey, what are some ideas? Like, go through, you know, and go, who's some people that I can follow, and go watch and follow suit. Now, again, don't be the carbon copy, but take that back and go, who am I? What do I do? Do you like celery every morning, or however each person says it, celery or celery? Or do you like coffee? Are you a coffee drinker? What is that you do? Is it in your routine? Do you drink sleepy tea? Like Joel drinks that every night. There's different things for different people. And maybe it's that hair, skin, and nails because you have.
Do you drink collagen during your Zooms?
I do. I love my collagen. So, you know, when I get things out there, I know people want to see videos a lot first. They want to know, where do you live? They're just nosy. Like people, even when you're live on Zooms, they're like, they want to see the back of your house. Like they want to know what's on behind you. Like you're all wondering what is going on with Larissa's background there. Like what is in their back? I want to read all that stuff. So think about the things that you're looking for, because the same thing is other people are looking for all that. So making it fun, maybe it's your kids, your dogs. I know a few of you are fur mamas. Like all I can think of is like Amanda Trin and her dog. She always got her doggy up there. So what is it? Those like your 5 pillars that you love. So we know that, you know, if you look at Joel, he's always got his verse of the day up. You can count on that. Like he loves the Lord, he loves me, and he loves food, and he loves trucks and guns. Like I pretty much know what he's going to be talking about. And he loves supplements. Like he is obsessed with it. So he wants to take care of himself. So I forgot to throw that in there because you are always mixing that. So what are those things that you love? And then incorporate that. And I think you guys can fit that into your schedule to what works for you. But going through this month, you can do more. And I think that's the thing is what I've seen happen over April is people making a decision to go, okay, I wasn't doing those things, but I'm going to get better. And I'm going to start now, and I'm going to get those hosted posts up. I'm going to get those messages out. I'm going to create some content or stories, maybe go live more and get uncomfortable and watch what starts to happen. And, you know, make sure you're loud about that and thanking customers and doing some of those things. And sometimes you have to pre-thank people to get some customers, right? And so you can give some shout outs of people that you've been talking to, like, hey, I'm so excited. I've been talking with Key. I can't wait for her to get that coffee. Doesn't say anything about being loyal, but you're shouting out like, I can't wait for her to try her coffee when that comes in for her. So are there people that you've been talking to, giving them shout outs through your story or on your pages? So then they're like, oh, I guess she wants you to really try that. So, you know, how are some of those things that you're going to be thinking about doing that? But the main thing is guys, is this business is up to you. If it's, what is it to be?
If it is to be, it's up to me.
Yes. So I want you to think about that. We want to help you. We want to help our distributors, but I also don't want you to beat yourself up if you don't have a team yet. You get to start with you. You get to start by being the best version of yourself this month. And maybe it's, you know what, I want to get a few more products and I want to try those. And I want to be a product of the product, putting your journey out there, scheduling, getting that calendar on, and really, you guys, taking the time to really be dedicated to your schedule, like making it a priority. And I think that when you can come down to that, be consistent with it, your business changes up. If you want to really go for it, then you're going to have to sacrifice some time. And what is it? They talk about successful people are successful from what? 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
That's when they're working. So I think you can be successful with your 1 or 2 hours, but if you want to be really successful, if you want to go after an emerald bonus, if you want to go after a diamond double, you're going to have to commit and show up and do the things that successful people do. And sometimes that's sacrifice. Sometimes that's saying no to the things that maybe you love, certain TV shows, and you're going to say no to those, and you're going to get on a Zoom and work. You're going to pick the things that are going to eventually, change your future. And I say no to a lot of things, and people go, I wish I could have your life. Well, I've said no and sacrificed a lot of things to be able to be where I'm at. And I love everything. So I just work those things. If there's a certain movie that I know that I want to watch, it's not going to be month end when I know like this is my work time. It's going to be when maybe I'm traveling and I watch it then. Maybe same thing, you're traveling, you're in the car as a rider, and that's when you want to watch it. So reward yourself with those things, but take the time to go, I'm going for it, and really decide and go for it, and watch how you can start really adding even more time into your business. So really, I wanted you guys to know it's all a decision. You get to do that. All the things, now all the apps that we're going to be going and doing to make our business easier and faster to get those distributors and customers. But main thing is go after those goals that you have. Joel, do you have any last minute words to share?
No,
about
that was pretty much awesome. The one thing that I wanted to really hit home is the consistency part. The one thing that we know about successful people in any endeavor is they are two things. They are persistent and they are consistent. Those are the two things. They're knocking down doors, and they're not going to stop knocking down doors until they get the yes that they're looking for. So if you are trying to build this business on a part-time basis, make sure that part-time basis has multiple days strung along. Don't go 3 days without doing anything for your business. Mm-hmm. Never go 3 days without doing something for your business. If that's the case, you're going to have such much harder and frustrating time because you're never in a place where your consistency turns into compounding. Mm-hmm. And that's what this business loves. This business loves compounding. And you know what else loves compounding? Math. Math compounding is great. But then when you put dollar signs in front of that math, the compounding becomes magical and it changes your life. So be persistent, be consistent, and go out and do the work.
All right, guys, I love y'all. I can't wait for you to have an amazing week. We're going to see you next week, Monday, with new people sharing on how big of a week they had, because I see people saying 7 LCs in today. So we're going to hear from some top recruiters, mass recruiters, on maybe they weren't always that way, but what they've implemented to make them become a mass recruiter. So have an amazing week. We're doing big things in May, and I can't wait to see you guys next week. All right, guys, have a good night.
See you guys.